Homestead. We are canning today, y'all. This is a little surprise for you. Um, I didn't plan to go live, but I was canning, and I'm going to be sitting here in the kitchen for at least an hour, taking care of this chicken broth that Noelle has made for us. So I figured, what the heck? Let's go ahead and jump on and let's do a live. We're going to go live again tonight with our regular Porch Time program. But I figured, hey, why not go ahead and let's talk about canning chicken broth while we're doing it, live. I can show you the process. We can talk about the broth. We can talk about the chickens. We can talk about the canner. We can talk about canning. We can talk about everything that goes, excuse me, with that. Um, so, what a great opportunity. Welcome. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody is doing well. Noelle went to go deliver a package, and she'll be back shortly. I have already started straining our broth. We've got a lot of bits and pieces, and this is probably going to go to the chickens. But yeah, hope everybody is having a great Sunday. We did. We just got back from church about actually back from lunch about 30 minutes ago. We had a fantastic service today at City Church Pooler. So yeah, we're canning broth. Noelle put this on 2 days ago. We put it on. Today is Sunday. She put it on Friday afternoon to begin cooking. As you come on, please say hi. Let me know you're here. I definitely want to know you're with me, that we're doing this thing together. So yeah, Noelle put this on Friday afternoon. And so it's been cooking for almost 48 hours, y'all. And if you're going to do broth, and I don't care if it's chicken broth or beef bone broth, you could probably do it with pork as well. Let it cook for 48 hours. Because what we're doing is we're cooking all the rich minerals. Hey, Wildwoods Honeybee Farms, it's good to see you. Let that broth cook for at least 48 hours because we're cooking all the collagen, right? And we're cooking all the rich minerals out of those bones and out of the bits and pieces. She used, in this batch of bone broth, she used chicken feet, and then we had some chicken backs that we've been saving. And then we ate chicken yesterday, so I put some additional backs in there. And then we deboned the chickens that we cooked yesterday. So I put those bones and skin and fat into the pot, and it's just been cooking. And friends, I want to tell you, I wish you could smell our house because it's fantastic. She put onions in there, a good bit of garlic. We like garlic, and we encourage you to put a lot of garlic in there. It helps. I believe she put rosemary in there, and rosemary is a fantastic herb for broths. She might have put a little bit of sage. That's great in broths also. We like to put celery. If you have celery, put celery in there. That's wonderful. Okay, is that hot? That's not too hot. We put it in a big roaster, right? The roaster really holds a lot. And when you make bone broth, you want to go ahead and make a lot, right? We use a good bit of broth here at the house. And we love to can it so it's accessible. We just go in there and grab it off the shelf and use it. We don't like buying store-bought broth anymore. So yeah, bone broth. So I've got my pieces out of the roaster. I'm going to clean all this stuff up here in just a second, and we're going to start jarring up the broth. I want to let that finish straining. So as you come on, if you got any questions, just let us know. Let us know if you make bone broth in your house. Also, we think it's wonderful. The collagen that you get from it, the minerals that you get, the flavor that it adds to your food is wonderful, and we thoroughly enjoy making our own broth. It could be a little bit time consuming, maybe, right? I'm going to spend about an hour canning this broth. All the rest of the time has been in the roaster, just sitting there and cooking, right? There's still a lot of juice in there. Let's kind of mash some of that out. We're going to be processing some more chickens next Saturday. We have some awesome friends coming over to help and hang out. And we're going to start about 8 o'clock in the morning. We have 19 chickens that we're going to be processing. And another friend of ours raised 12. And they're going to be bringing their chickens. And we're just going to have a big processing party. A dear friend of ours allows us to use her big plucker or picker, and it makes the job go so much quicker. When you do process your own chickens, make sure that you save those feet. Like I said, this broth here is mostly feet. You know, it does have some backs in it, and it does have a few other parts from other chickens that we've consumed. But for the majority of this broth, it's feet, and feet make great broth. I mean, really, really good broth. Make sure you clean your feet, right? You want to make sure you got clean chicken feet before you put it in the pot. All right, we're going to get that out of the way. Cover that up. I'm going to move this. Y'all hang on for a second. I need to get some water in my canner. The canner that I use is an All-American 921. If you're going to get into canning, right, and if you're going to make it part of your life, make a good investment in your canner. I'm not saying that Presto doesn't make a great canner. I've got a Presto canner in there that we're probably going to give away. We bought it at an auction. I invested in an All-American pressure canner several years ago because I made the decision canning was going to be a part of our life. So I spent the money. I think the first All-American 921 I bought was about $380, and it's worth every dime. It does not have a seal or a gasket. It's a metal on metal seal, right? So it's an aluminum canner. You put a little bit of petroleum jelly on the seal, and that just conditions the metal. But it's a metal on metal seal, and it just does a fantastic job. Parts are readily available for it. It is an American-made canner, and I love that. I love buying American-made products. So yeah, All-American 921. This is actually the second 921 I bought. And again, we found it at an auction, and I literally paid $7 for this All-American 921 pressure canner. $7, folks. A $400 canner. I found it at an auction, and I paid $7, and it does a great job. The pressure gauge isn't exactly perfect. It reads about 12 pounds of pressure, but I know that if I put that 10-pound weight on there, it's going to be between 10 and 11 pounds of pressure. And when I'm canning broth, that means I got to let it can for 25 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. So all American. Look at the construction on that, right? This is a heavy canner. And again, no rubber gasket. It's metal on metal. I love it. If you get the opportunity to buy an all-American pressure canner, make the investment. Even if you're paying full price for it, they're wonderful. All Americans, you have to line them up just right. It has a little mark. There's an arrow right on the front of that. And that lines up with an arrow on the front of your canner. The previous owner put a little red mark so we know where the front is. Let me get these jars out of the way also. One of the great benefits of canning is reusing the jars over and over and over. And so here we are, right? These jars, we are not the original owners for these jars, and that's okay. Sometimes you inherit jars, sometimes you buy them real cheap. These particular jars we inherited from an estate, and we're glad we did. Y'all, I wish you could see this broth. I really do. It is something. Wow. It's so dark and rich. I'm going to show that to you in just a second. Let me get some water in this canner. Like I said before, as you come on, let me know you're here. I'd be grateful for that. You can get it turned on. In your pressure canner, you want about 2 inches of water. You do not, when you're pressure canning, you do not fill it all the way up. You just want it about that far up on your jars. So about 2 inches. Maybe one more quart. Maybe about 3 to 4 quarts. A little bit more. Some people would call this, some folks would call this a hot pack method. And it's because we are putting hot liquid or hot items into the jar, and then our water will be hot also. And that's important because you never want to put cold into hot. Get that out of the way. And y'all, you check out this broth right here. Look at this. Stir your broth, right? Stir it. So we want to get all that collagen. We want to get the fat from the skin. We want to get that mixed up, and we want to distribute it evenly among all of our jars. Let's see. I hope y'all can see that. I hope you can see just how dark and rich this broth is. Man, it is beautiful. And you should taste it too. The flavor's out of this world. We like to can our broth in quarts. Sometimes we'll pull a quart and just enjoy it. We'll sip on it, right? Broth is great for breakfast. Have about 8 ounces with your eggs. You got 1-inch head space. Do not go more than 1-inch head space because you risk not getting a good seal. Making a bit of a mess over here. I'm going to try not to do that. I got to get some lids. Y'all hang on. Today I'm going to be using Superb lids. It's the lids with the blue seal. They're good lids. They're fine. I prefer 4-jar lids, but I have Superb, so we're going to use them. Set that right there. Always wipe the rim just in case you get any kind of debris or anything. You want to make sure that's nice and clean. Put a lid on. We used to have to simmer our lids to soften the gasket, but we don't have to do that anymore. I string up all my bands, right? And we just hang them in the closet. So that's how I handle bands. Everybody's got a different way of doing it. And then we're going to put the band on there, and don't over tighten that band. That's super important. As this heats up, right, we're pressure canning. So the temperature of the liquid is going to get above boiling, right? We're going to 240 degrees as opposed to 212 degrees. And you have to, if you seal that up too much, you'll risk breaking the jar because oxygen has to escape, right? So the 3-finger method, right? 1, 2, 3, right? Just like that. That's it. No more than that. Just barely tighten, right? You'll feel it snug, and then maybe not even a quarter turn, right? Maybe an 1/8 of a turn. Don't over tighten your lids. I really can't express that enough. That's super important. In your canner, man, let me get this. Let me show you this. Fork, had to have fork. In your canner, there is a metal rack, and it's imperative. Don't ever can without a rack in the bottom of your canner. I'm telling you right now, that's a mistake. Because what'll happen is your jars will bounce in the bottom, right? That's a really thin aluminum, and it allows it to cushion that bounce in there. But those jars bouncing on the bottom of your canner will bust the jars. Always make sure you got a rack in there. First jar is in. Here we go. Gonna keep on going. Again, stir it. Make sure it's mixed well. We want to make sure that fat and the collagen and all the bits and pieces from the broth are mixed thoroughly in there. We love canning our own broth because, well, for the pretty much the same reason that we love growing our own food. Canning our own broth allows us to know exactly what has gone into it, and more specifically, what has not gone into it. Wipe your rim. Put a lid on. Got a ring right here. 3 fingers, right? 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's as tight as you want it. I'm telling y'all. Don't over tighten that lid. Don't over tighten your ring. It'll bust. You'll have a mess. And you'll just, stir it good. I like to put a bowl underneath. Just catch any drips. I'm a messy cook. Noelle can attest to that. And I just make a mess. I always have. I think it's probably because my mother was a messy cook. We always clean it up, but we're messy. If you're watching, or if you're watching on the restream or on the other side of the live, let us know that you're watching. Do a hashtag replay or whatever it might be. Just let us know that you were here. If you're watching live, please give me a comment and let me know you're here. That'll be awesome. Wipe the rim. Put a lid on. Add a band. That's it. If this is your first time visiting Pruitt Homestead, we live in the middle of a subdivision on a 1/4 acre piece of property. We have gardens in our front yard and in our backyard, and we practice subsistence agriculture. And basically that means we try our best to provide all of our needs right off of this piece of property. I'm not going to say that we're 100% successful. There's a lot of things that we can't do on this piece of property. For example, grow grains, right? We can't grow wheat to provide flour for ourselves. We can't grow sugar cane in abundance to provide for our needs. But we can grow a lot of vegetables, and we raise meat chickens a couple of times a year. And those meat chickens give us 100% of all the chicken we consume. We don't buy chicken from the grocery store anymore. We don't buy beef from the grocery store anymore either. We get that directly from the farmer that raises the beef. And we feel like that's a really good program for us because it allows us to know the farmer, know the land, and know the animals that we consume. we like to talk about with our food. And there's no greater way of doing that than raising it yourself or having a relationship with the farmer that does. Our mission statement for our household and for Pruitt Homestead is be self-sufficient. We feel like we do okay at that. And then the other piece of it is to encourage others. And so when we jump on our live program or we do videos or we are out at markets, that's our opportunity to encourage you to be more self-sufficient. Take a chance on yourself and where you are in life to be more self-sufficient. Grow some food. Maybe go fishing, right? That's a great way to be self-sufficient. Go hunting, right? Wipe off the rim. Add a lid. A band. Tighten that. 3 fingers tight. I need 2 more. And that canner will be full. The All-American pressure canner, the 921, holds 7 quarts. One day, we might upgrade and invest in a 930. A 930 allows you to double stack quart jars. And if you have a larger family, right, you know, if it's more than just 2 of you, if you have mom and dad and 2 little ones or a house full of kids, you might need a canner that allows you to double stack quarts when you're doing canning. So take a look at that. Take a look at your needs. Your time is valuable. And so the amount of time that you spend in the kitchen doing canning is time that you are not investing in other places in your household. For example, investing in your children, right? The time you spend with your kids is very important. And if you're canning, if you're not teaching your kids how to can, that could be a good bit of time that you're investing in the kitchen and not in the education or the growth of your children. So after I get the canner loaded up, we'll put the lid on and we'll seal it. And then it only has to process for 25 minutes. There is my awesome wife walking through the door. Hi, hon. We're doing a live canning. Just so you know. Come say hi. There she is. Mwah.
Smells wonderful.
It smells amazing. Sorry, she got me all flustered, y'all. Got confused. Forgot what I was doing. Wipe your rim. Add a lid. Put a ring on.
Put a ring on it.
Put a ring on it. Ouch. Now we'll put our lid on. The All-American canner has lugs that that you tighten down individually, just like you would with your tire on your car. So we're going to tighten down these lugs across from each other. Make sure they're tightened well. And it is sealed. And now we are going to let this begin to vent. When a heavy stream of steam begins to come out of the vent, we're going to let that vent for about 10 minutes. We'll put our 10-pound weight on there, and then we'll let it process for 25 minutes. And that's it. It's done. We have canned our chicken broth. We have some, we probably have, I don't know, 2 to 3 quarts, maybe 2 quarts left in there. And we'll just put that in the refrigerator because I know we've got some recipes this week that we're going to use that broth in. Noelle made a fantastic butternut squash soup the other night, and she used some broth. Maybe she'll do that again this week. But we'll also just drink the broth because it's so wonderful. All right, friends, thanks for hanging out with me while I can chicken broth. Right? I hope you're encouraged. I hope you learned a little something. Come back and see us tonight at 7 o'clock. We're going to do porch time with Pruitt Homestead sitting right on the porch. And we're going to talk about all things homesteading and things happening in the world that affect our lives. If you will, share this with your friends. It's really important to us. Smash the thumbs up, the like button. We're grateful for that. We will see you tonight at 7 o'clock. God bless. We love you.